So I want to touch on something, and I kind of briefly touched on this in the past about Terence Crawford and who has he fought? He ain't fought nobody, right? That's really the sentiment coming from the Errol Spence fanboys and people that just straight don't like Bud. So I want to just talk. I want to read to you what you see here in this thumbnail. I got another one. A Errol Spence fanboy. Definitely not just a regular fan. Definitely an Errol Spence fanboy. From time to time, I'll get some of these guys on my page. Sometimes I'll sidestep them, but sometimes I gotta give him some attention, man. And tonight we're gonna give this guy, Carlos Gandiaga, some attention, and let's break up his little paragraph that he left on my last video I made titled "Terence Crawford is on the warpath." He says, "This fool," meaning Terence Crawford, "all he has is a big head." Let's stop right there. So he's saying Terence Crawford has a big head, meaning he's full of himself. As if Errol Spence ain't been walking around calling himself the big fish. He's the top dog. He's the king. Which I understand. He has the most belts. He's feeling himself. That's what boxers do. Champions feel himself. Errol Spence is a champion. He has belts. Terence Crawford is a champ. He has a belt. What's wrong with having a big head? There's nothing wrong with having a big head. The problem is when you have a big head and you ain't fighting nobody, meaning you don't want to fight nobody. Or you have a big head and you ducking. That's the difference. So you can cut all that out. Then he says, walk it, don't talk it. Well, we already know, man. We're not going to get too much into that because we've been knowing that Terence Crawford has been wanting to walk this walk. We know the obstacles that he had to put up with. We already know who was one of the main obstacles. And he don't have to worry about that no more. He said, next, clean the division out. First of all, he spelled division wrong. Clean the division out like a real champ. So, you mean to tell me you want him to clean out 147 like a real champ? So, in other words, you mean defend his titles, right? Like Errol Spence been defending his titles, right? Errol Spence defending his IBF and WBC. Terence Crawford's been defending his WBO after he got it off Jeff Horn. So if you mean cleaning out the division, you can't just put that all on Terence Crawford, right? You got to put that on Errol Spence. Secondly, who else is there to clean out? What do you mean? Besides Virgil Ortiz and like Jerron Butenis, that's really it. But if you're gonna say clean out the division, I'm assuming you mean these two dudes. Maybe a few other little cats scattered in there that's up and coming, but they ain't really making no noise. The only ones that's really making noise is what? Virgil Ortiz, Jerron Ennis, maybe Stanionis, and Yordenis Ugas, and he's another champion too. So if you're gonna say clean out the division like a champ, cool. We have 3 champs in the division: Errol Spence Jr., Terence Crawford, and Yordenis Ugas. Tell all of them to do the same thing then. All Errol's been doing is what he was supposed to do: defend his title. Same thing Terence Crawford's been doing, defending his titles. So what is he doing different? Was he doing any different from what Errol's doing? All right. If anything, Yordenis Ugas, he need to step up and start defending his shit if you want to be technical. But I mean, I think he beat Pacquiao and elevated him, right? So I mean, listen, bro. What the hell are these dudes talking about, man? But also, he says, well, let me get back into that. Let me touch a little bit more on that defending division like a real champ. First of all, clean the division like a real champ. I'm gonna say it one more time. They're all champions. Their job is to defend their title. If they're staying in the division, defend their titles, which equals to cleaning out the division. So if you're saying that you're hitting at Virgil and Boots, then say the same thing for Errol. Those cats been calling out Errol too, just like they've been calling out Terence Crawford, right? So none of them, to be fair, none of them have fought these young cats yet. Doesn't mean they won't. We'll have to see. But you can't put that whole jacket on Bud like that. Next, all he has fought was Shawn Porter. Well, didn't Errol fight Shawn Porter? Shawn was the champ. Okay, cool. But then you guys say you wanted Bud to fight somebody. You said Bud ain't fought nobody. Now you kicking the can down the road. Now you saying, oh, all he fought was Porter. But before he fought Porter, you were saying he needed to fight somebody like Shawn Porter. You were saying he needed to fight somebody with a name. Then he fights somebody with a name. Now it's saying all he fought was Porter. Come on, man. Y'all can't have it both ways, man. He fought Jeff Horn, who was a champion, right? If you want to talk champions, Jeff Horn was a champ. Bud took his belt. Shawn Porter was a champ. Errol took his belt. He defended his title against Jose Benavidez, which was a great fighter within himself. You can say what you want. He was still a good fighter, still gave Bud a run for his money with a bum leg. You can't take that away from Benavidez. You can't say Benavidez is a nobody. On one hand, you're gonna say Benavidez is a nobody, meaning Bud fought a nobody which was Jose Benavidez, and then turn around and say Bud couldn't get him out of there. So then what's that saying about Jose? That's telling me Jose is a great fighter. He withstood Bud for 12 rounds. So what are you talking about? Then he fought Kell Brook. Then who's Kell Brook? Kell Brook is nobody. He was damaged. Well, wasn't Kell Brook damaged when Errol fought him? Triple G already smashed his face. So Errol came in and did the rest. That's it. So he was. You can argue. You can pretty much say that Kell Brook was damaged goods when he got to Errol Spence, right? So what are we talking about? Oh, he was a champ. Okay, but he was a damaged champ. So if you're gonna say Kell Brook was good enough for Errol, then he should have been good enough for to fight Terence Crawford then, because before Errol got him, Triple G got him. You know what I'm saying? So then you're diminishing Kell Brook. If he ain't fought nobody, then he ain't fought nobody, and Errol ain't fought nobody when he fought Kell Brook. Same thing. They both fought Shawn Porter. Just so happened Porter didn't have a belt anymore. Errol took the belt. What else was Bud supposed to do? Then if he would have fought somebody besides Porter, like let's say he would have fought somebody in the lower rankings or something, then you would have said he was cherry picking. Then you would have called him that you still would have been saying he ain't fight nobody. Next, he said, now he is the Terminator. Please, Errol will fuck him up. That's right. He's the fucking. I look at him as the fucking Terminator because he's on Errol's ass right now, and he don't look like he's stopping. And that's what Terminators, they don't stop. Just like my man John Connor's father, Kyle Reese, said, you can't stop him. He absolutely will not stop ever until this is dead. Just like that. That's what I see. Please, Errol will fuck him up. Okay, well, let's see it. Let's see what happens in the ring. You're entitled to your opinion, but let's see it in the ring. But stop saying that Terence Crawford ain't fought nobody but Porter, because what you're doing is you make yourself look stupid, because some of them same opponents, one of them was a common opponent with Errol, right? And that person arguably was damaged goods already before Errol got to him, right? So you could arguably say, well, damn, Errol probably wouldn't have beat Kell Brook if Triple G didn't bust his left eye, or it was his right or his left. If Triple G didn't bust up his eye, right? You could say the same thing. You could argue the same points and say, well, Errol was getting schooled by Kell Brook, which he was. And he wouldn't be able to break his face if Triple G already didn't weaken it. Bam, there you go. These dudes is hilarious, man. But anyway, that goes out to him. Hey, bro. Hey, Carlos, this buzz for you, homie. Hey, yo, this is Rebel Life. I'm off this. Catch y'all later on the next one. Peace.